I just want to say I really appreciate how, it seems every now and again we always go back to Kevin Conroy, and I think there are a lot of great new takes that you get to work on with Batman, but I always enjoy the chance when you get to bring Kevin back. Was the plan always to bring him for this Assault on Arkham film? Because I think I once heard that it would be Jason O'Mara playing Batman.
Yeah, not for this, not for Arkham, because it is affiliated with the game, and that only made sense. But I was just saying before that, for me, because I work with so many actors, and I've had to work with a lot of actors playing Batman, I love working with actors. But whenever I hear Kevin's voice, I feel like I'm home. It's this touchstone. It's like, okay, everything is all right because Kevin is back. So I appreciate what you said. It's a joy to always work with him.
But was there any thought of using Roger Craig Smith since he was in Arkham Origins, which was also connected to this?
Right. We didn't ever discuss it. I always, and I've mentioned this to you specifically before, whenever I'm given a movie, because I'm a freelance director, when I'm given a movie to direct, the first question I ask is, can I use anybody I've ever used before? Or do I have to go from scratch? And then, can I use Kevin Conroy? And sometimes they say yes, and sometimes they don't. And this one they said yes. So that's how I see this
I've talked to you about this before, about your wish list of people that you have.
I have a new one.
Oh, excellent.
Alex Trebek. I want to work with Alex Trebek. I watch Jeopardy religiously, and you hear him do accents every once in a while and play and stuff. But I just want to find, just because it's novel casting, not some huge big superhero role, but just something that he would have fun with. I just want to bring him in. And then Kyle Chandler, I really like so much. And then there's a couple of British actors that I've been watching, like Martin Freeman, who's everywhere right now, or Benedict Cumberbatch, everybody's in love with right now, and there's a bunch of, Johnny Miller, there are a bunch of people that I would like to work with, so that list continues to grow. As I cross off some of those people, it continues to grow, but because there's always new actors coming into my world, I want to work with them all. I love actors, I do.
You talked about how, you feel like you're home when you're Kevin's voice, and I think many of us do, we either grew up with it or we just regard it as the definitive Batman on screen, forget animation and live. Why is that? Why do you think it's still, why does it hold up? Why is it such a touchstone for so many people?
It was a very good animated series, and I said that not as someone who worked on it, someone viewing it. It was a darn good series, and it was a darn good series because it had a wonderful producer in Bruce Timm, and because Kevin Conroy is an excellent actor. Regardless of his voice work, he's an excellent actor. He understood the character. He likened him, because he is a Juilliard-trained actor, to Hamlet, which makes sense. Killed parents, vengeance. It is Hamlet. And then Kevin's voice doesn't hurt at all. And if you listen to those early episodes of Batman the Animated Series, the voice was a little cartoonier. It was better. Just like when you watch The Simpsons. If you watch a very early episode of The Simpsons, the voices weren't developed yet. They evolve. And that's appropriate. That should happen. The actors learn it better. I learn it better. We all figure out what is this new creature that we're making, this new Batman series. And because what was prior to that, everybody's knowledge of Batman was the Adam West, very broad cartoony series, we were going 180 degrees different. So it took us all a while to find what that was and how do we do that without alienating the audience, but rather bringing them into this new Batman world. And I think because people did embrace that, now when they hear it again, it's like, okay, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to Kevin Conroy's Batman. It makes me feel comfortable.
Was this your first time directing Troy Baker as the Joker?
It was.
And were you as stunned as I was when I heard it? Because I thought I was listening to a young Mark Hamill.
It's a remarkable impression. It's a very, his laughs, his intonation, he clearly studied that voice. It's a very, very It was the first time I had worked with him on that voice, yes. I've worked with Troy before. Right. Voice, so
Kevin was just telling us how when he got the role, he wasn't a film actor. And he came in probably right before the time period where now a lot of times people are looking to hear the voice of a big on-screen actor, someone on stage, not someone who's just a stage actor that no one would really know about. How has that changed over the years? And would you still look for someone, but they tell you, find someone? Would you still go look into that, stage acting that haven't been the big film?
Absolutely. I fight for whoever the best actor for the role is. If they're a known talent, great. If they're completely unknown, great. I want to find the right voice for the project. And there's always a discussion about celebrity casting and all that. But the truth is, in this world that we're in right now in San Diego at Comic-Con 2014, Kevin Conroy is as big a celebrity as any other actor walking out there. He's huge because he created a voice and a character that will exist forever. You think about how long these films are still watched, how long the series is still watched. And this series still holds up. If you go back and watch some of those episodes, you're like, that's good. That was good then and it's still good now. So, as far as I'm concerned, in the animated world, Kevin Conroy is as big a celebrity as you get. As big as Dan Castellaneta as Homer Simpson, as big as anybody else. And you have all these big fat features where you have celebrity voices that are brought in. And sometimes it works. You have like Ellen DeGeneres as Dory in Nemo, which is perfect celebrity casting. Absolutely accurate, spot on. I wouldn't have changed it. And then you have other times where you have an actor who's brought in just because they're a name and they don't understand the energy of animation acting, which is bigger and broader. And it's interesting you bring up stage acting because Kevin's stage experience allowed him to understand the energy better. Actors who have never done voiceover but have stage experience move into it easier than actors who only have film experience who are used to working very small. Because the camera captures so much. You do things very small in film. On stage you have to go bigger. In animation you have to go bigger. So stage actors segue into animation acting almost seamlessly. Very good point.
Do you know at what point this is in the Arkham world? Is this before Arkham Asylum? Is it after?
No, Arkham exists. Oh. Arkham is in Florida.
But this is connected to the game. So do you know where in that we have Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and then Arkham Knight, and then before that was Arkham Origins?
I'm going to embarrass myself by saying I don't know the three games.
Okay.
I don't know the names. I don't play video games, and so I don't. I know it's huge. I know it's enormous. Everybody's a huge fan of it, but I'm delighted.
Well, we also get like the Suicide Squad in this, and this seems like very much their story as well.
It's their story, and it's Amanda Wallace.
Right.
She's great.
So how do you like getting to kind of play around with sort of? Well, I mean, like they're forced to work for the government, but they're all kind of out for themselves, or.
Of course, they have their own egos and their own agendas, and because of devices planted in their necks, they must do what they're told to do, or their heads will blow off. But they still test that because they're bad guys, and they test it to the limit as far as damn it, I'm not doing this. Oh, don't forget, I hold the button. So it makes a very interesting dynamic where bad guys are actually being controlled by one specific entity, which is Amanda Wallace.
Is there a film actor out there that isn't doing voice work that you think would be great to get into that field?
I'm sure there's a ton of them. I wish I had thought about that question earlier because I would give you specifics, but there's so many lovely, wonderful actors out there now, and there's more production on films and TV, and as you well know, there's many more film actors doing TV now for many reasons. There's really good TV being made now. They can stay in Los Angeles maybe, or stay in North Carolina, or have their family life, and have that for a year or 2 years or 3 years, and that appeals to them, as does an animated series. I've had many on-camera celebrities come to me and say, I'm pregnant, I don't want to leave town, but I want to keep working, I've never done voiceover, can I come work for you? Brooke Shields came to me and said, I don't want to go, I don't want to leave town. And I hired her for several jobs, and she was great. Way pregnant! Came in and worked. Way pregnant! And on the last film I did, during the time from I recorded until we did the ADR, which is about 10 months, someone got pregnant and had a baby. During that time, they came in without having been pregnant, came back, they had a 1-month-old baby. I brought the baby to the session. And then there was somebody, Michelle Monaghan, who, when I worked with her first, was not pregnant. When she came in to record the ADR, which is always the fight stuff, the really intense stuff, she was 8.5 months pregnant. I was like, oh dear Lord, I'm going to make her deliver during recording. I need you to deliver a performance, not the baby. She got there okay. She was Wonder Woman. She did great.
Did homework too.
Did what?
She did homework.
Yeah, she did. She did.
You were saying the kind of an advantage that theater actors or actors theaters would have is the energy. Are there anybody do you encounter people who overcorrect? Like giving
Too big?
Yeah.
Yes. Because the energy for a show like SpongeBob compared to a show like a Batman series is very different. It requires different energy, different skills, and so if someone who's only done those really cartoony cartoons, sometimes I have to pull them back. Easier to pull somebody back than going, give me more. You think you're going too big, but I need more energy, and so that tends to be harder to do. I'm like, go too far and let me pull you back. That's easier.
Nolan North's Penguin, which I love. Some people have been critical of the voice he uses as Oswald Cobblepot Penguin, and I'm so happy he's doing it in this show. I personally love what he does for the Penguin. What did you think when he came in and did that?
I thought it was great. What were the complaints?
That he doesn't understand cognitive.
Oh, I didn't perceive that. There are naysayers no matter what. And how many British actors do we have playing Americans? And you know how you can always tell? Here's the tip-off, I'll tell you. If you're not sure if they're British or not, they say the word B-E-E-N, bean. Like B-E-A-N. They don't say bin like we do. We say B-I-N, right? I've been there. British actors say bean. I heard Hugh Laurie do it on House. I've heard somebody else recently say bean. But so it's one of those times when people are really doing accents a lot, not their own, and no one's a terrific voice actor. I think he is. I think he is perfect as well. Are you doing the new SpongeBob movie? They just announced it, and they're doing it. I'm not, and it was because they were that production took like 2 years, and sometimes it was going in and directing a half hour with an actor, and then 3 days later direct somebody. And I have so many other projects that I couldn't commit to being available for every single time they would be. So it made sense for the producer.
Did you do the first movie, the 2000?
I didn't. I was not on the project at all yet. I started right after the film. I wasn't in the first 3 seasons or 4 seasons. They brought me in afterwards.